Good evening, everyone. My name is Ishan and welcome to Ishan Talks. So, today's topic is something special that we all don't know about. Okay, today's topic is urban livelihood. Okay, now I have a question for you all before we start this chapter. How many of you know Ishan Talks? If you don't know Ishan Talks is a channel which specifies topics that are interested in people who topics that people find interesting. So let us continue in our chapter. While starting our chapter, first I am going to give you a summary so that you understand what this chapter is all about. So the summary of this chapter is: in this chapter we will learn about the life of people in cities, about the life of people in cities, about the earnings of people and learn about unemployment. So this is the topic of later on. Before that, let us continue. Okay, so before we start the story, let me tell you a story that actually happened with me. So one of my little brother came to urban areas. He used to live in rural areas. So he asked me that so many big towers are there. We rarely got to see so much towers. So now I told him we all live in that tower only. So he was surprised. That was the story, and let's continue. So as you can read, a younger cousin of her sister comes to visit her older cousin's city. Okay. First off, they head off to explore the city. When they came to the city, they saw a city full of activity. Those being vegetable vendor arranging flowers, a store of lovely flowers, buses whizzing, which means buses are driving across, people shaving their beard for early morning, and newspaper selling. So according to the story, the sisters bought a red rose and a yellow rose. Mark these points because they are important. A little way down, they saw a corner full of rickshaw. There are like hundreds and 200 of rickshaw. So they took one to the market. So if you have understood what I have said, this means a younger cousin comes to visit her older cousin's city. Before even living in their house, the little one asked that they should go to the to explore the city. So they agree. And then when they arrive at the street from where they will take the rickshaw, they see a lot of activity. Those being vegetable vendors arranging vegetables so that the people who are buying it can see. Store of lovely flowers, buses that are driving past, people that are shaving their beard for a morning lovely shave, as well as newspaper selling. So they bought a red rose and a yellow rose. Now here is the entry of a main character, Bachchu Manji. Bachchu Manji is a rickshaw puller. So he is one of the rickshaw puller in the rickshaw corner which they so this is the story of him. First of all, Bachchu Manji came from a village of Bihar. He was a mason. So building, he was laborer only. He used to build some small towers, but he was not satisfied by the earnings he got. So he came to the city. Okay. In the city, he bought an old rickshaw. He did not rent. He bought an old rickshaw. He works till 8:30 of the evening, that being 8:30 p.m. He takes rupees 10 to 30 rupees per trip. He also has a radius of 6 kilometers. This is an extra knowledge. Note that. He earns rupees 200 to 300 per day. So his earnings are 200 to 300. Okay. He spends 150 to 100 rupees per day, and the rest that are left he sends to the family. So screenshot this and also let us continue. Okay. If you want another explanation, let me explain it again. Okay. Bachchu Manji is a rickshaw puller. Bachchu Manji is a rickshaw puller who was a mason in earlier cities. He came to the city because he was not quite satisfied by the earning he got from the masonry job. Okay. He worked till the 8:30 of evening so that he earns the maximum earning he takes rupees 10 to 30 per day per trip. He also, note this, he has a radius of 6 kilometers. So if a person wants to go somewhere, it has to be under 6 kilometers. Okay, he spends 100 to 150 rupees per day and sends the rest to his family. So let us continue. Okay, this is the data that was taken in the city of Ahmedabad. Okay, as you can see, these bars are the data. Blue are workers, that are actual workers, and the orange data is hawkers. This is the 2020 data and this is 2024 data. The fact that these are comparable is a sad thing because there are many disadvantages that hawkers have. So the blue one is workers and orange one is hawkers. Take a screenshot of that if you want to remember. Okay, as I was saying, difficulties for hawker. There are many difficulties of hawker. Like they don't have permanent structures. They don't have permanent structures like they don't have shops in which they can settle. Okay, they rarely win trust over citizens. If they want to sell something, the citizens like please भैया थोड़ा सा rate कमा दो. And then so that they don't have much trust of the community. As well as they can be asked to dismantle the shop anytime. Dismantle meaning closing their shop. Okay, closing. They get asked by the police. So the police will ask them, please close the shop. They cannot argue back. They have to close the shop. So recently the government of India has looked into the problem and foreseen it to being a right of life. But I want to say something. This means that if they want it to keep happening, they have to have free hawker zones, that there are no hawkers in one area. As well as this does not cause any obstruction to traffic. Okay, let us continue the story. In the market, like they took the rickshaw to the market. In the market, there is already a crowd. Like even the shops haven't started yet. Why? Because they reckon it is a festival season. Okay, like season for festivals, they were. That's why there was so many crowd. The older sister had an appointment at the dentist shop. After the appointment, they went to the garment showroom owned by Harpreet and Vandana. Let me explain it again. In the market, which they went to after the street, they saw a very abundance of crowd. Why? Because there was festive season. Now, before going to buy anything or doing anything, they first went to take an appointment at the dentist because the older sister had one. Okay. So after the dental clinic, after the appointment, they went to the garment showroom owned by Harpreet and Vandana. So this is the story of Harpreet and Vandana. Okay, Harpreet and Vandana. Let me tell you point by point. Harpreet and Vandana, they were business persons. Unlike Bachchu Manji, they were never asked to dismantle their shop. You know why? Because they have a license from the municipal corporation. Municipal corporation we have already learned in chapter number 6. So remember that. Unlike Bachchu Manji was a person that he can be asked to go away from there, so that, and he does not have any earning. But they were never asked to dismantle this. They were business persons, so they hired. They were not hired. They used to hire. They used to hire persons, and they earned a lot of money compared to Bachchu Manji. So you can compare them, and I have a question for you. Answer this in the comments. Compare Bachchu Manji to Harpreet and Vandana and see who has a better life. In the factory, while they were departing from the bus, they saw labor chowk. You know what is labor chowk? Labor chowk is an area full of labor. People who didn't have a job. Okay. They went to the factory where Nirmala works. Before they went there, they are labor chowk sitting with their tools, waiting for a contractor to hire them, so that they have an earnings. They sit with their hammers, iron nails, like that. They wanted zari work on their younger sister's kurta. So this is the scene. Let me discuss again. So they went to the factory. While departing from the bus, they saw labor chowk. Labor chowk is an area full of laborers who are waiting for a contractor sitting with their tools. They were waiting for a contractor to hire them. Refreshing water, Okay, so on Nirmala story. Nirmala is a worker of the factory which produces summer clothes for Western countries like the US, the United Kingdom and Germany. She is a casual worker. Oh yeah, and I wanted to tell you, types of unemployment you also read in the summary. Okay, so types of unemployment. Casual is one type of unemployment. Casual is the person who are hired for a day-to-day basis. They can be asked to leave at any time. Like if the business is failing, the person who elected them can ask them to leave. Okay, thank you. This was the topic for chapter number 9, the urban administration.
Any question?
Any question, any doubts, ask in the comments. I will answer in the next video. Thank you and bye-bye.